Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tiffany. Now the weather is so dreary outside, but I'm certainly very chirpy, tired but chirpy, and I think you can tell it in my face and probably my voice as well. So I've just recently returned from a 4-day trip to Marrakesh in Morocco. Now I had such a fabulous time. We did so much in terms of went quad biking. We went up the mountains, we shopped, went to the souk, which are like the traditional shops, and just kind of really got to spend time getting to know the culture. And I think for me, I might have mentioned before, I absolutely love traveling. You know, I think there's so much to see in the world, there's so much to learn about different cultures, and it's in immersing ourselves in different cultures that we can learn something and bring it back and sort of introduce it into our own lifestyles. So this video is a little bit off the cuff. I wanted to share my experiences of Marrakesh in terms of what I thought about the people, what I thought about, you know, sort of how different they were, but also what I learned from it. Now, one of that was the power of innovation. Like, these people didn't have much, a lot of them didn't have much sort of material possessions, but you could tell they were rich in creativity and they were rich in their abilities and their need to make something of the little that they had. I mean, for example, you know, there was someone somewhere carving wood, and they will make sort of different items out of the wood. They can put your name in Arabic on the wood, and there was someone carving stones and chipping away, making all these amazing animal shapes out of stones. And even when we went up the mountain, for example, they had a very intelligent way of keeping the drinks cold. So they lined the drinks up on the rocks, and then they sort of made the water from the spring, they found a way to allow it to spray onto the drinks. And that's how the drinks were kept cold throughout the day, so they could sell it to the tourists. And yeah, I think it very much inspired me, because I think we always forget that our mind is the key to success, to ambition, to you know, the life of our dreams. I think a lot of us might think we don't have much, but when you actually think about it, when you think about what you can learn, you know, when you think about how you could use your mind, I think when you begin to think like that, you realize that you actually have a lot more than you think you have. And it's about utilizing your creativity, utilizing your ideas, and being brave in sharing, you know, your sense of creativity with the world. I think that's how you can improve your lot in life. Another thing I really sort of observe about them was the sense of working together. Or I think sometimes a lot of people in Western cultures, we have the crab mentality, which is how one person's climbing up, you know, like crabs in a bucket, and then the rest are like trying to pull that person down. But in Marrakesh, I thought they were very different, because let's say, for example, you buy something at a store, you buy a pair of shoes, and you say to the person, okay, where do I go to buy soap? They will actually tell you to wait there. They'll go to the next store, it's like a few minutes away, bring the soap to you. And I think they then obviously increase the price of the soap so that they can get a commission for introducing you to that next person, or to bringing the products to you. And I thought that was amazing how they sort of work together. Yes, there is a sense of all making money, but it's about we all become successful together. So it's not like, when you think about it, you know, success is not a solo sport. You have to work with other people and think, okay, you have this, I have this, how can we bring it together? How can we collaborate to be so much more that we could be as individuals? Another sense I also got was that there was certainly probably less. I mean, I was discussing about loneliness in my previous last video, and you could sense that they certainly relied more on each other, in a sense of, you know, for example, we visited like a typical house, and it was very old-fashioned. There were sofas and tables, and I remember one of the guys in the other tour group said something like, "Oh, no TV," and I thought, yeah, no TV, no Netflix, but I bet you they're much more happier than we are in the West. Simply because when you don't have a TV in the living room, a family can talk, a family will have conversations, a family can get to know each other. There is no sense of trying to distract themselves with social media or staring at Facebook or living online. Instead, you're actually present, you're there with your family, you're there with your friends, you rely more on those people for your joyful activities. And you know, it's such a beautiful thing, and it's such a shame that we've actually lost that sense of being together, being present. You know, there were times when I just looked around and I saw how, you know, in the UK especially, we're always on our phones. We don't even look up on the trains. We don't even look at each other. And that's how, even though you're surrounded by so many people, you can still feel really, really lonely. And lastly, what I did observe also was a sense of humility and servitude. Like, there was always, they would literally do anything to make money in terms of they will serve you, they will carry your bags, they will offer to do this for you, take you up the mountain. Even the tour guide we had was like running up the mountain, he was holding our hands to make sure we didn't fall over. It was just a sense of, you know, I need to do everything to make sure that you have a pleasant experience to obviously sort of make the money that I need to make for my family. And I think, you know, obviously in the UK we forget that because we're so comfortable, because we have options. We don't serve each other, we don't give each other the best of ourselves. But yeah, that really kind of reminded me of just the power of humility and what humility can do for you. If you approach life with a sense of giving your very best and not trying to appear to be more than what you actually are, then I think your life gets better for everyone and for yourself as well. But yeah, no, it was quite a reflective moment for me. I love sort of looking around and learning about new cultures. So yeah, that was all I want to share about Marrakesh. But yeah, certainly a place I would recommend to everyone to visit. It's cheap and cheerful, amazing weather, lovely people, good food. I mean, what more could you want? Yeah, that's it. Well, I hope you guys enjoy that conversation about Marrakesh, and always remember, the life rewards those who live intentionally. Thank you, and see you soon.